Welcome back to the Marathon Mortgage Happy Hour. I'm Mike Witzak.
I am Rory Farrell.
And who's our special guest in the middle today?
I'm Emily Rubin with Keller Williams.
There you go.
Thank you, Emily, for coming in.
Thank you
all
for
the way
having
here
me.
to Flower Town.
Yeah, drove all the way in. Actually, Emily is part of, we had Josh on. What is Josh's last name? Josh Farley. Yeah, that's what I thought. Emily's part of Josh's team, the RLM team you were saying?
RLM and Co.
RLM and Co. So she came all the way in to do the podcast. We're very happy that she was cool with coming on. If you notice today, we're not doing a beer. We're just doing some. What is Rory sipping on over there?
Just some water here.
Fresh agua.
Just trying to hydrate.
Love it. What do you got?
Got my caramel iced coffee from Dunkin', of course.
Perfect. 4 caramel swirls.
Michael, Costco special.
Yeah, Costco guys right here. I'll give this a big boom. Anyway, do you know who they are? The Costco guys?
No, but I know
Oh, you
who
much-
Costco is.
Much
Don't worry,
better
I don't know
off.
who they are either.
Yeah, you don't need to know who they are. They're like a father-son duo. It's okay. It's
Social media is.
if you know, you know. But
Don't worry about it. You're not alone.
You don't know.
I'm being bullied on my own show already. This is unbelievable. So anyway, we're going to skip the beer portion of the podcast today and just kind of jump right into Emily and kind of how you got started, where you're from, all that fun stuff. So I guess my first question is you just had a birthday, right? How old are you now?
Yes, 25.
How dare you?
Yeah.
Have you never talked to a woman before?
Yeah. All right. All right. So
It's okay. It's okay.
this is unbelievable.
That's an okay question to ask when you're talking about someone in their 20s.
Yes, exactly. So,
Ask a woman my age what their age is.
yeah, no, I don't do that. I don't talk to many women your age either, old man. So
man.
so you're 25 years old. I'm also 25. So how'd you get started in real estate? I feel like you're very young, and a lot of people wait until they're like later on in their career to start in real estate. So
Yeah, so I think that's something I actually struggled with, is being young in the business, like just me being like super self-conscious of being younger. But I got started, I want to say like 2.5 years ago. And I would say, like, I've always thought about it, like when I was in high school and stuff. And then I ended up going to school for business at community college. Ended up moving up with the company that I was working at as a manager, and honestly, great company, but I was a little unhappy there. So I'm like, what can I do to get out of my situation? And I went to real estate school, and I kind of just like dove in, but I kept my other job as well,
Smart,
just in case real estate didn't work out. And
Yep.
thankfully, it has been working out pretty good for me. So I was able to leave that job, but I would say it was like my way out of my other job. That's how I got into it.
nice. No, yeah, no. I don't, not to cut you off, but I think one of the main reasons I wanted to reach out to you and have you on is because of how highly Josh spoke about you. He told us, I think even on the podcast, he's like, yeah, I got this young girl on my team. She's like always in the office. She's constantly hustling. She's making the phone calls. And I'm like, who is that? And he told me who it was. It was you. And I'm like, all right, let's have her on the podcast next then. Yeah. So
Josh speaking nicely. of me.
At least in public.
This is being recorded. We can go with this.
yes. I'll cut this clip up. We'll send it to him.
No, but I was going to say it's cool and it's awesome that you were so successful so early on during a very tough part of our industry's history.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, I would say like just training was great for me with Keller Williams. I kind of walked into Keller Williams and was like, yep, this is my home now. Like, I didn't even interview at other offices. Just the training was amazing. The people were amazing. Like, I have a lot of people to rely on, and now I'm on a team. So like,
Nice.
It's worked out pretty good for me.
So did you start solo and then did you know Josh prior or did you run into him?
So I started out as a solo agent, and we actually formed the team, I want to say like 2 months ago. That he had his own team, and then we have 2 more people on the team, Christina and Tony. They're a married couple, and then I was a solo agent, and then Ian was on Josh's team, and we just combined as one.
Okay.
But I knew Josh. I knew all of them, honestly, just from seeing them in the hallways, chatting. I originally did not want to be on a team. I'm like, absolutely not. I'm going to be a solo agent forever. And now I'm on a team, and I'm like, I'm never going to be a solo agent again. I love my team.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, it was like just in the works for the past few months.
Oh, nice. Yeah, and I think it's great that you have I talk about it all the time. I don't think I'd be in this industry if I didn't have the team that I have, like Rory, and you'll meet Tom. He'll probably be back for lunch when you leave here. But he's the owner of our company, and just like the culture in general is what keeps me moving, it keeps me alive. And I think that's a huge part of this culture or industry is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
It really softens the learning curve too when you're learning from other people who have been in the industry for a little bit longer and learning the right way to do things and not making the same mistakes they have. And obviously everyone makes their own mistakes as you're young, but you're going to make a lot more of those if you don't have role models.
Yeah, and like a support system behind you.
Big time. Yeah. And then I guess you said you were with a company before then, and then you moved into real estate, and now you're doing this full time, right?
Yeah.
You're totally done with everything.
Yeah, I actually just recently left and made that jump into full-time real estate.
Nice.
So.
Okay, cool. Congratulations. Yeah.
Was it in a similar industry or
No.
like what kind of work was it? Without saying the name of the company you didn't like to work for.
No, so if any of my people see this, I did love the company, and I loved my people. Honestly, I've helped people that I used to work with like buy and sell houses, so like I'm very appreciative of that company. But it was the food industry, and I was a manager, and I don't think my personality really goes with being a manager. Like I don't like to tell people what to do. Like I like to be in the sidelines, and like now I'm on a team, so like I kind of am in the sidelines a little bit. So that's why I ended up leaving that company. But like overall, it is a great company to work for.
Yeah, I mean, you have a ton of experience with the food industry.
My whole life prior to this was all food, beverage, and then like even when I moved into like a sales role, it was within that similar industry, like the brewing industry. I think that there's, and I've said this a million times on the podcast, I think that there's like a really translatable skill coming from that industry to this industry.
Yeah.
People, being organized, communication, working with other people, like putting out fires, like.
Yeah, I mean, I was really, like, I want to say really good at my job there. It's just like long term, I knew I did not want to do that for the rest of my life. Like, it just wasn't for me. It's for other people, and that's fantastic for them. It's just not where I wanted my life to be.
No, that makes total sense. It's like I don't blame you at all. You gotta do what's right for you at the end of the day.
Yeah,
so.
absolutely.
No, perfect. And then I don't know if you want to pivot here or not, Rory. I don't know.
Go ahead, pivot.
Right, I'm gonna pivot, dude. We had talked about like right before we started recording how you're doing social media, and like has that helped your real estate career, do you feel like? Or
Oh my goodness, I get all of my clients for the most part from posting on social media. So like with my age group, a lot of the people that I went to high school with, they're ready to start their families, buy houses, and they know about me from me posting on social media consistently, and even just like me messaging people, them messaging me, them reacting. Like I'll do like polls on my story like, oh, renting or buying, how do you feel about this design? How do you feel about this design? And like people interacting with it, and I get some clients out of that as well. But I would say social media 100% is where I get most of my business.
Wow, that's awesome. And then so you're like social media's top percent where you get business, and then I know your team, from my understanding, is very heavy on like sitting and dialing the phones and cold calling people. Do you do a lot of that too, or is
so I do more of like the leads that come in and like calling them after like the team has touched base with them first. And then a lot of my cold leads are from open houses as well.
Oh,
so
wow.
I pretty much host an open house once, if not twice, every weekend.
Wow.
So like Saturdays and Sundays, unless I have something going on. But
Yeah.
I try to do at least one every weekend.
Yeah.
The more consistent you are with it, the leads will come in, and you'll learn how to present yourself better, and people will work with you that way. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because they can be awkward, right? Like, especially if you're sitting there by yourself, which probably isn't happening as often now because there's so much activity. But like, I've sat with realtors at open houses for hours.
Yeah.
Earlier in my career, and you're just like
Yeah.
twiddling your thumb. So when someone does come in, there's like this awkwardness. So
Yeah.
being able to figure out how to do that productively and
I feel like sometimes like you can kind of read the room, like when someone comes in, if they're going to actively engage in conversation with you. But I mean, I've been hosting an open house every weekend since I've been on the team, so 2 months, and my last 2 clients that I got under contract are from an open house.
Wow.
So
That's awesome.
I would say if any agents are watching this, stick to the open houses. They really do work.
cool.
Yeah, there's a realtor in Philly that I follow that, I mean, I think he's done like over 200 open houses this year so far, and
Wow.
he probably closed $30 million in transactions this year already. So he definitely it works for him. I know that.
Yeah.
So
I think for like newer agents, and people come to me all the time, they're like, when is it going to kick in for me? Like, when am I going to get a client? And it's like, for me, the way I look at it, like if I host 10 open houses, 20 open houses, and I get one client, that has just made up for the time that I hosted at the other ones. And like, your goal at the open house isn't only to get a client, it's to help that agent who's listing the house sell the house. So, and then build those relationships with the listing agents as well.
Big time. And then going back to social media, so we were talking about speed tours, all that stuff.
Oh,
Are you making like fun content? What is your main thing to do? I know we talked about like you making silly videos and stuff.
Yeah.
Is that what you want to focus on?
That is like, I would say, my personality. So like the funny videos, and we have more coming up. I saw the speed tours. Like, there's this one kid in PA who started
Trent.
them.
Yeah.
And
He cracks me up. I don't know why he makes me laugh.
Hilarious.
He makes me laugh so.
And I've actually had a few past clients of mine send it to me, and they're like, he's getting so many views. Like, why don't you do this? Because it's just like, I have a bubbly personality. It's something that I would do. Josh presented to me. He's like, I have a new listing, and you're going to do a speed tour. And I'm like, and I'm going to do it in my heels to be different from him.
There you go.
So, and then like, after I did the first speed tour, I'm like, all right, I need a pool. Like, we need to get a listing with a pool. I'm jumping in the pool with my heels on. Like, this is what I want to do. And literally a week later, we got a listing with a
You're
pool.
like, oh,
That's awesome.
So
I gotta do it.
Suck it, Trent. Do one in heels, dude.
No, but Trent, if you want to come on, seriously, don't suck it.
Please. Anyway,
We love you.
I'm gonna have to edit that later and make that a clip. Thanks. But no, that's awesome. And that I didn't even see that one. So you did? Is that one
Was
up?
that recent?
Yeah, that one is up on my social media, and then we also have the RLM and Co. Instagram page.
Yeah.
So we kind of just like, if I post, I collab with that page, and that page is for like everyone on the team. And then my personal, I also post my content.
That's killer.
That was
Yeah.
like one of the, and not only on the podcast, but one of the things that I've seen come up on Josh's Instagram a lot is how much he pushes social media and what a great resource it is. And
Yeah,
so
he's heavy on like the cold calling, and like he records it to show like it is possible to convert. You just have to like learn how to talk and say the right things.
yep,
so.
for sure.
Yeah, you gotta have that system in place because cold calling is like its own art form.
Oh, I'd be shaking.
Yeah, we're not fans of it here. I know that. Like, we've done it before. We've tried it. It takes a certain person. Number one. Number two, you have to have like a set guideline of, hey, this is how I'm approaching this call. If they pick up, this is what I gotta say. Gotta get all this in. So it's a tough thing to do, but I admire it.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're good at it, it's such a skill.
Everyone has their own way of doing things too. Like, some people, like maybe even Josh would be like, I'm not hosting an open house. That's not how I'm gonna get clients.
Yeah.
But for me, like, I think my personality and like being in front of someone is how I convert my leads. So
Yeah, big time. I think that's very important. And it's just like face-to-face interaction. A lot of our clients, we say this all the time, but we don't meet them until closing. So
Yeah.
it's like having that face-to-face interaction with people is so nice, and showing them who you are.
it like shows that you're a real person. And that's why I like the funny videos, because I'm like, a lot of the people that I work with, I know, like I went to high school with, I'm like, they're gonna think this is so funny. Like, I have people messaging me, oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Like, I can't believe you jumped in the pool. A month later, they're still talking about it.
Yeah.
So it's just like being yourself and showing that you're a real person.
I think that's like such a huge key, is like making sure that you are yourself. Because I mean, I've sent them to them all the time. Like, we'll watch them and be like, oh, this is so cringy, because they're not being themselves. You know, like they're trying to replicate something that is popular
I know
on Instagram. Or I mean, it's not any one person or team or, you know, account or whatever. It's like, you watch these, you're like, oh, you're just trying too hard. But even if you're replicating it, like you are in this situation, if it's part of your personality and you do like,
and like making it your own too, I think. And that's why I did like the heels, because I'm like, okay, like I don't want to copy exactly what he did. It's a great idea. Everyone thinks it's funny. Like, people have been sending it to me, but I'm like, but how can I really make it my own? Which is why I added the heels, which is why I jumped into the pool, like, and just like making it my own, not just copying him.
Yeah, no, that's great, and that's what you have to do. I'm kind of Rory's PR manager here. He'll send me things.
I'll run things
like,
by him real quick.
Hey, can we? Should we make one like this, or is this cringe or whatever? And I'm like, dude, that's horrible. Let's not do that.
And then sometimes,
wait until you see my upcoming videos. You're gonna be like,
oh, great. No,
we'll probably have better context now that we know you a little bit better.
Yeah.
But sometimes, like when we're not together, like sometimes I'll send it like in the office, like, hey, what do you think about this? And like I'll be serious. But other times I'll send you things that we're not in the same office, or, you know, and I'll be like, hey, what do you think about this? Knowing that it's bad. And I'll just wait to see his response.
I'm like, dude, come on. Why are you sending me this shit? I'm like, stop.
And sometimes he's like, yeah, no, like, we can do it. And in the behind the scenes, I'm just dying laughing. I'm like, I can't believe he thinks I want to do this.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. He sent me one the other day. It was like super bad. And I'm like, if you really want to do it, man, we can. Like, I guess. I don't know.
like trying to give in a little bit.
And I didn't even bring it up until like 2 days later. I was like, oh, I was just joking about that. He's like, oh, thank God.
Yeah, thank God I did not want to do it. But we made a commercial one time, and it was like fun.
But that was organic, though. That was
just fun. Yeah, like that was cool. It was like a commercial we made. I have like a whole rig set up that we did, and it was fun. But it was just us being us, you know. It wasn't us forcing it.
More of that. That was fun.
I think that's just super important to be yourself. And like my team has talked about that, where like I run the RLM Instagram page, so I'm like, okay, like this is for the 5 of us, and then like we all need to focus on our own social media as well. So it's like, what are we focusing on to be ourselves? So like that's something we're all talking about as a team as well.
Hell yeah. That's awesome.
Did you, I mean, you guys are the same age and you grew up literally with a phone in your hand. I'm of an older generation, didn't have that.
Much older. Yeah.
And so I mean, oftentimes I'll ask him just advice in general, but also like technical advice, like, oh, how do you do this or whatever.
Yeah.
Did you feel like you grew up doing that and like you have like a jump on other people in the industry who didn't grow up with a phone in their hand or being in front of the camera or used to Instagram?
Like I don't need help like making a post or recording a video and putting it together. Like, you know, I kind of course, the first time you do it, you have no idea what you're doing. But like, as I've continued to do it, like I just put it together and I mess with the apps and put my videos together. And of course, like if anybody needs help in my office, I'm like, yeah, I'll help you. And we're the people that, you know, the older generation, I guess you would say.
I'll take it.
To.
Believe me, that's the nicest thing that he goes way harder on me about being old. So
just because you're right, like we did grow up with it. So like, of course we're going to have to be that helping hand for like anyone that didn't grow up with it.
We didn't really do really much of anything social media wise.
Yeah.
When did you start? 4 years ago?
Close to 4 years ago now. Yeah.
Yeah. And then even for like the first year, I think that's like when we were busy from the refi market. So like I didn't need to do anything. And then things started slowing down and I saw him just hustling, like putting together vlogs and putting together TikToks. And I was like, I'm quiet. I should be doing something. Like I got to be doing something.
Yeah.
So that's where we started leaning into Instagram and then the podcast.
Yeah. Rory's like, can you do this? And I'm like, yeah, it's easy to do. Like, all right,
sure, it's going to take me like 30 seconds.
Yeah, we got it. You're chill. So then, one other thing I wanted to touch on was the fact, so you've been an agent for 2.5 years, but you've been on Josh's team just formed, the RLM Co team just formed like 2 months ago.
Yeah, 2 months ago.
So prior to that and like joining the team, were you doing a lot of business or has your business picked up a lot since being on the team?
I would say my business definitely picked up, and Josh and I actually talked about this. It's like when you're consistently every day doing the business will come to you in a sense. So like I was working at my other job at the time, so obviously I wasn't doing real estate as much. So like now that I'm in the office every single day and like, you know, posting more and making those contacts and reaching out to people, and even like the one time I ran what's called a use and occupancy, I had to drop off an application for a house that we were under contract on. And while I'm there, this guy behind me is like looking for a contractor. And I'm like, oh, like not even trying to sell his house. I'm like, here's my contact, like for the contractor, you know, whatever. And he might be selling his house. So it's like just doing the work and showing up every day has gotten me, I would say, way busier. Like I'm busier than I've ever been in this very moment.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, you know, like when you're slow and you're actually in an office and there's not dishes to be done because you're at home or you're not doing your other job, it's like, all right, well now what do I do to fix this? You know, like your brain starts going, and even if you're just emailing random people, just staying in touch, it's like every little bit counts towards making more money and building a clientele and a pipeline, and you know. You got to do something. You're not just going to sit there and stare at a computer all day.
Yeah, I won't work from home. Like, I will work from the office only because I have a dog. So I'm like, if I'm at home working, I'm going to be laying on the couch with the dog.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
I need to be in the office, hustling in front of my computer. There are way too many distractions.
So big time. Yeah, that's like a big thing. We're in the office 5 days a week. Like it's very rare any of us work from home.
Yeah.
I mean,
unless you have to.
Yeah, like you have to sometimes.
Kids, so sometimes I got to. But
you got little niños running around. You got to take care of them. But
similar to what you're saying about the dog, if I'm home, like I just can't be as focused. Like I would much prefer to be here.
Yeah. It definitely puts you in the zone. And like I said, I think when you do it every day, like the business will come to you.
Sure.
Of course, you have to work for that business as well, but you know, it's going to start coming in unexpected places. So.
Yeah, for sure. Is there anything else you want to touch on? Or?
No, I like to. I kind of piggyback off of what you said. You said this earlier. You wouldn't even have been on this team had you not been in the office every day, and they were in the office every day. So it just like, it just goes to show you, like being in an office, like, you know, setting up a schedule.
Absolutely. And just like getting those contacts, like I mentioned for the open house, like hosting open houses and like doing your job correctly and touching base with the listing agent and stuff, like it goes a long way. Like it's all about connections in this business. So that definitely helped as well.
Big time. Yeah. And there's, I guess, do you want to do wins? We didn't tell you about wins. We'll explain this real quick.
We'll see how it goes over the next day.
We'll see how it goes. So what we try and do after kind of every episode of the podcast at the end, we'd like to just talk about a win that, leave it on like a positive note. It could be anything, business wise, family wise. If you know, your dog is learn a new trick or something, that could be a win. I don't know.
That would be a new one.
Yeah. So, but do you have a win? Do you want to start us off? Yeah, go ahead. Start us off.
So I have a client, actually, it referred to me from one of our investors, one of our lenders. And this woman who's an underwriter really likes working with us, likes working with me, referred her nephew to me. So
Wow.
he's buying the house from his uncle. Him and his wife are buying it from his uncle. So no realtors involved. And I was just able to help guide him through that process where you guys do a lot, obviously. And I'm learning even more how much you guys do involved in this process. So just helping him through that process, because he didn't want to use a realtor. He's buying it from his uncle.
Yeah,
He felt
absolutely.
comfortable doing that. But then there's a lot of stuff that you guys do. So you mentioned use and occupancy, and then sewer line inspections, and all these things. So he's finally, and on top of the ordering the title and the appraisal and all the mortgage stuff. So it was a month-long process, and they're closing on Monday, and they're excited, they're happy, it's their first home. So it was
that's awesome.
nice to be involved in every little bit of it and helping them to make it a smooth transition. So
Yeah, for sure.
That's
Killer.
amazing.
I pre-approved the guy probably 2 weeks ago now, and you just got under contract today, this morning. So
quick turnaround.
yeah, gotta win the deal now, but we have it under contract, so that is good. I think he's very happy and content with all the service we've been providing him, and he told me last night hey, look, you're my guy, you're my number one right now. So I'm not concerned that we're gonna knock out the deal, but I'm just happy that I got the house under contract and that went well. So
That's awesome.
yeah. How about you? Anything you can
We
think
put you
of?
on the spot.
Actually, no, so actually this morning I got I've tried to communicate a lot with the listing agent when I have an offer in. So I reached out this morning and I said, hey, I just wanted to reach out and see if your client had any questions or concerns about our offer, because the response is due today. And he replied with, oh, yeah, no, he's perfectly fine. He just travels. I'll have it in your email this evening. Nice. I did not tell my client yet, because until it's in writing, it does not exist. But I am super happy about that.
This won't come out till tomorrow. So
these are first-time home buyers. She actually, just before I sat down, was like, any update? And I'm like, I can't tell you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm super excited. And it was, like I said, an unexpected deal that came out of nowhere. People that I know, and I'm really excited for her, and I really hope it gets signed.
That's
So.
awesome.
Very cool.
Congratulations.
Well,
Thank you.
hopefully by the time this comes out, you'll have good news
Yes.
in writing.
If not, I'll message you not to miss it.
Yeah. Just cut that.
Just kidding.
That's funny. But no, that's
awesome.
it. Yeah.
Congratulations. That's
Thank
always
you.
fun, especially coming into a weekend to be able to get some good news leading into the weekend. So
Absolutely.
Nice. Well, thank you so much for coming on and
Thank you for
joining us.
having me.
Yeah, no problem.
one more time, name who you work with, maybe social media. We'll tag you, but
Okay.
remind people who you are.
So I'm Emily Rubin with Keller Williams. My personal Instagram is Emily Rubin Realtor, and then my team's Instagram is RLM_co.
Also, by the way, I already asked her. She's not related to Bob or Adam.
Oh,
Rubin.
okay.
Yeah. I was like, it was over Instagram DMs. I'm like, this is going to be really awkward if she's not related to them. And she's like, I'm not. I'm like, okay, never mind. But yeah, thank you guys for watching.
Happy Friday. Cheers.
Thank you.
Cheers. Bye.
Popsicle sticks race down the curb into the sewer. The next American hangman sketched the crayon gang.